between these two. West Ham need to improve their home form. They've lost 5 of their last 7 here at Upton Park, and Fulham are desperate for an away win. Their last victory on the road was the game that kept them in the Premier League at Portsmouth on the final day of last season. A sunny, quite mild afternoon here. Pitch in perfect order as Murphy, the Fulham captain, launches the first ball forward over the head of Dempsey, who will start on the right-hand side of midfield for Fulham. A very settled side. 11 times this season Roy Hodgson has picked exactly the same lineup. Tuhu winning that. Hansel, the former West Ham man. Hangeland, who's been in great form. Chansey's not going to win too many aerial battles, you fancy, against Upson and Collins. Lunga giving away the first free kick.
Well, I'm sure West Ham are aware that if they're going to win this game, they're going to have to compete with Fulham work rate-wise, because they do work extremely hard as a team. Roy Hodgson's outfit all know each other's games inside out now, courtesy of those settled lineups. Good chance here.
Tuhu, a big figure. Hangeland even taller, although it went in a little lower than they were hoping for, and Murphy's shot was pretty poor.
Yeah, poor for him with his technique. Early chance to keep one down, get one on target, but miles away.
Roy Hodgson has been in charge of Fulham for just over a year now. He saved them from the threat of relegation in his first season, and he's made them very hard to beat this season. Fulham 9 league games without defeat, remember. They've drawn 6 of those 9 and won the other 3. Fails to earn the throw he was expecting there. West Ham with 2 wins from their last 3 games, and that followed a run of only 1 win in the previous 12 league matches. 10th in the table on 26 points, and they've won as many of those away as they have here at Upton Park this season. Offside decision here.
It's a curious little stat, that, isn't it? And it applies to quite a few teams in the Premier League, picking up as many, if not more, points on the travels as they do at home. Cole just a yard off there, but maybe a sign of the times. The home crowd gets frustrated if the team isn't ahead, perhaps at half-time, gives them a bit of stick, and some players tend to go in the shells and gain a little bit of freedom on the road.
Konchesky's through ball, picks out Johnson, and his pressure on the defender Upson has earned the first corner.
That's what Andy Johnson's good at, working the channels like he does here, and he's a strong little lad, making it difficult for Upson.
Cole has clearly been detailed to come back and help mark Hangeland, very much the tallest player in the penalty area for Davis's corner here. And it's Collins who's grappling with him at the moment, though, and onto the roof of the net.
He's an obvious target, isn't he, Hangeland? Collins is by no means small either. He's got hold of Hangeland. He's got to watch it, haven't you, in this climate? Saw last week with the shirt pulling at Old Trafford. Could have led to a penalty. He's got to be aware, defenders these days.
And Collins is a player who enjoys the physical side of the game. Back now as a regular after all his injury problems over the last 10 months. West Ham's free kick here. Collison. Noble. And here's space for the skipper Neil. And the ball, well, he hoped it would pick out Cole, but Pansel got there just ahead of him, and it came off the West Ham man anyway.
It's a nice little move, pulling off the back of Pansel. Carlton Cole, he's always going to be favourite to win that. A decent ball in from Lucas Neal as well. Just did enough, didn't he, Pansel? Got the first touch and onto Cole's head, but he's been a threat lately. Scored in his last 4 games. His confidence should be high.
Noble. Again, Pansel cleans things up. Left Upton Park in the summer. He's been a regular ever since for Fulham. Hangeland in that strip of sunshine here at Upton Park. Looking for Zamora. He grew up just down the road from here in Barking. was a big West Ham fan as a youngster and spent 4 years as a player here. It's a big day for Bobby Zamora. He got a very good reception, incidentally, from the West Ham fans. It's pretty unusual that these days. Rami playing it forward and taking the return. Parker, good vision to pick out Ilunga. Rami. The Swiss international slides it into Neil. Another of those whose future has been the subject of much speculation. It would appear that there's a lot of players in this West Ham squad that other clubs would like to sign.
Yeah, that's true. It's the manager's job just to get them all together and maybe put any seeds of doubt to bed, to reassure them that the squad isn't going to be broken up. When that happens, it can have a real settling effect on a squad. Like Bellamy's situation, we'll wait and see how that develops, but far from ideal for Zola, just at a time when Bellamy was scoring and his team were doing well.
Ilunga onto the return ball. Michele waiting to get it back, edge of the box, he's unmarked at the moment. It's gone to Parker instead. Almost threaded it through to the Italian. Barami. Neil. Michele the target here, and it's come to him, and he's scored! Pansel's mistake, but the Italian first to react, and West Ham get a dream start.
Well, he'd done so well, John Pansel, just before, in getting a touch on that cross to put off Colton Cole. He just obviously doesn't know there's anybody behind him here. He can't be aware of Di Michele's position. He has a little glance there. He's certainly onside the Italian, but that is foolish in the extreme from the right back. He's just got to clear his lines. It's a huge gamble he's taking in trying to just cushion it back to his keeper, and he's been made to pay. He could have easily headed it away rather than trying to do that. Trying a little bit to be too clever. His team will goal down as a result.
Who needs Craig Bellamy? He scored twice on his debut against Newcastle United. Hadn't scored since, but of course hasn't had many opportunities because of Bellamy's own form. And that will end the sequence for Fulham, who had drawn 0-0 in each of their last 4 away games.
Yeah, there hasn't been much of that. Those kind of mistakes at the back, clearly, with that run of results. But given they've only scored 2 goals away from home so far this season, a bit of a mountain to climb. Now you concede a goal to West Ham, the crowd gets up, and it's a very difficult situation. It's the second cross from Lucas Neal. This time he gets a lot more joy, and for a player of Di Michele's ability, that's an easy chance for him. A gift.
And a horror moment, not for him, but for Pansel, who, like any player returning to a former club, would have been really keen to make an impression today. He's made the wrong sort of impression there. And West Ham are flying. Berami. Overstated the pace of Di Michele with that ball.
That is the perfect start for West Ham, isn't it? After the goings-on of the last couple of games with Craig Bellamy and the uncertainty that would have created amongst the crowd as much as anything else. They'd be wondering what's going on, but it certainly has settled them down. Feel a bit happier.
Well, I'm told that newspaper reports that Craig Bellamy stormed out of training in the week are not true. However, draw your own conclusions. He's not in the squad today. He didn't train yesterday. No one will say whether or not he has played his final game for West Ham. I think one thing that is pretty unlikely is that they'll send him to Tottenham Hotspur, because there's great rivalry between the two sets of fans, much more than there is in this particular derby.
Well, it is possible to talk players round. I think Gareth Southgate showed that up at Middlesbrough by keeping Downey and Gary O'Neill as well till the end of the season at least. And in an ideal world, that's what Gianfranco Zola will be trying to do.
Here they go again with Noble trying his luck, stinging the fingers of Schwarzer.
Had it all the time in the world there, didn't he? 25 yards out to bring it down, and just look at his options. Nobody closes him down. They settle themselves, Fulham, after conceding that early goal.
Parker back to Collins. West Ham are going to goal down in each of their last 3 league games and come back to rescue points each time. Now they find themselves with the luxury of a 1-goal lead. Konchesky, another former West Ham player, picking out Davis, back to Murphy. Now Hangala. It's good football. Hughes. Hansel. Dempsey. Surrounded by claret and blue shirts. It's Parker who leads the counter-attack. Now, was he caught there by Dixon Ituhu? Yes, he was.
Scott Parker with the ball, committing players and committing a challenge out of the two. This is certainly within shooting distance. Nice central position.
Schwarzer lining up a four-man wall. Any number of potential takers here. Clear that they have to wait for his signal. Haven't scored from a free kick this season, West Ham, and they're one of the great free kick takers as their manager. That's a little surprising. Noble would have been on target, but it was way short. Konchesky. Hangala. Neil winning it back. Collins. West Ham beat Stoke 2-1 in their last home game in the Premier League, but that's their only win in 7 here at Upton Park, and that run includes 5 defeats. It's not exactly the fortress it used to be, this ground. Collison. Ilunga. Cole.
That goal just enables them to relax a little bit more, doesn't it? Express themselves, pass the ball about.
Rami along the ground to Neil, who rather hurried his cross. Fulham with this great defensive record, they've conceded now 15 goals, and this is their 20th league game. Only the top 3, Liverpool, Manchester United and Chelsea, have conceded fewer than them, but their scoring record considerably less impressive. There's Dempsey being forced wide. Keeping possession well, though. Needed a bit more support than he got. Michaeli, the goal scorer. Lovely ball round the corner for Cole. Hangeland intercepts.
Have to play a slightly different way, don't they, West Ham? When they're in possession without Bellamy, they haven't got his pace to threaten him behind.
Ambitious effort from Dempsey.
Haven't really been able to play too much football in their attacking third yet, Fulham. The shots that have been well wide of the mark.
He has scored 3 times in his last 3 games, though, the USA international. Header away. Parker. Ilunga. Parker with a great ball forward to Michaeli. Ilunga picks out Parker with the throw. He failed to pick out Ilunga with the pass.
The ideal start, isn't it? They've seen plenty of the ball, West Ham, been able to get at that Fulham back 4. You might have wondered how his team were going to start this game, but it's been bang on from his point of view.
Zamora. Dempsey. Good skill. Hansel. There for Michaeli. Goal scorer officially on loan from Torino. He's spent most of the season on the bench. Hobson to Collins. Those two forming a really effective partnership now at the heart of the Hammers' defence. Gabidon His fellow Welsh international has been out for a long time through injury. Collision there between Dempsey and Parker, and surprisingly, it's Fulham who get the free kick.
Not sure how he worked that one out. Phil Dowd, he just got barged through the floor there. Scott Parker got his body in the way.
Collins with the clearance. Rami likes to come in field when he can. Oh, almost the right ball for Di Michele, who applauds the intent. Hughes, very steady, consistent player in Fulham's back line. Very experienced as well in Premier League football. Schwarzer looking for Bobby Zamora. It's come to Ilunga. Collison with the safe route back. A subdued atmosphere at Upton Park at the moment. Pencil has got out of a tangle and straight into another one. Oh, the foul has been given against Di Michele.
It's done John Pansel a huge favour, hasn't it? Got outnumbered in a dangerous area.
Couldn't see much wrong with that, could you?
I think Pansel might just have got the touch away. But when you dive in, whether you get the ball or not, invariably it's a foul, isn't it, these days?
West Ham do have a superb record against Fulham in the Premier League, by the way. They've met them 11 times and lost only once. They won 2-1 at Craven Cottage in September in what was only the second game in charge for Zola. Zamora's flick, away by Collins. Hughes stood strong against Cole. Hangeland. It's Konchesky, had 2 years as a West Ham player, another locally born man as well. Atuhu, Murphy, Hansen. Easily blocked. Well, there was a dubious challenge on Collison, but it's only a throw-in, or is it? Has Mr. Dowd overruled the linesman who only gave a throw? We shall see in a moment.
I think it was taken from the wrong position, just 4 yards up the line. West Ham trying to take it quickly.
Oh, Ilunga ended up taking a free kick, in fact. Confused everybody, that. Here's Collins. Neil. Long for Cole. Di Michele up with him. Hughes had to win that header. Di Michele again. Now Collison. Oh, lovely skill by the young Welshman.
It was lovely skill. Might have been better going the other way. He makes his apologies because there were 1 or 2 in the middle of the goal waiting for the service.
Wilson enjoying his longest run in the first team, and he's just signed a new contract, by the way. Offside has been given here. People having problems seeing the linesman in that sunshine on the far side.
Well, he's had a nice little run in the side, young Jack Collison. He's playing with a nice bit of confidence. That's when he just chooses the wrong option.
He's really blossomed under Zola, still only 20. Bit of confusion there between Schwarzer and Hangeland. Murphy's header finds Zamora. Rami intercepts Collison. And again, lovely control in a really tight situation. Ansel. Murphy. Hangeland. Onto Konchesky. Unashamed West Ham man through and through. Here's Davis. Back again to the left back. He's still got his cross in, and Johnson went for it near post. Collins there first. Murphy's header. Away by Ilunga. Fulham enjoying a decent spell.
Yeah, just managing to get the unit up there and play some football in a dangerous area.
I have to say, Pansel is clearly still suffering from the error that led to the goal, because he's all over the place at the moment.
Yeah, it's all come down his side as well, hasn't it? He's been really busy early on.
with the throw-in. Longest cross was a good one as well. Barclays. Neil. He could have a go here. Didn't quite open up for him, but it might for Noble. Angelan blocks, and Di Michele claiming the throw, but in fact it's gone the other way.
Oh, they're having all sorts of problems, Fulham, in resisting the West Ham attacks that are coming their way, particularly down that left-hand side or West Ham's right.
Incidentally, Fulham have the best record of all the London teams in the capital city derbies this season. Only one defeat in 5, but that was against West Ham at Craven Cottage in September. Here's Dempsey for them, given away to Collison. It's only about 15 miles between Craven Cottage in the west and Upton Park in the east, but you probably need a helicopter to do it in less than an hour, such is the traffic on that route. Lucas Neal could probably afford a helicopter with his reported wages. Cole. Here's Parker. Hobson. Pansel, now Dempsey for Fulham, who suffered only one defeat in their last 13 league games. Konchesky. Oh, he's had a go! Oh my word, what a goal by Konchesky! Out of the blue! And out of the top drawer as well. The last goal he scored was for West Ham in the FA Cup final, would you believe, against Liverpool in 2006.
It's one of those 1 in a million. They don't close him down because they think he's got no chance of scoring from that distance. No chance at all, but that is as perfectly struck as he could possibly have hoped, and certainly as perfectly directed, just swerving slightly away from the grasp of Robert Green. It is 1 in a million for Paul Konchesky.
Well, I said before that he was born in Barking, just down the road from here, grew up a West Ham fan, like Bobby Zamora, his teammate today. Never ashamed to admit that this was the club of his youth. Loved it when he played here, but he will have loved that moment even more. What a goal, stunning.
On the few occasions they have threatened, that's where they look the more dangerous, isn't it? On that left-hand side, through Simon Davies and Konchesky bombing on. But nobody would have predicted that kind of strike. Sure, he wouldn't have. He just thought, wow, haven't got too much on. Barclays comes across to close down. He thinks, I've got nothing else on, why not have a swing at it? See what develops. Beautiful. Just sits up nicely for him on the strike.
Well, I haven't got a crystal ball, but I would confidently predict he'll never score another one as good as that in his career.
Safe to say.
I remember the one he got in that cup final. I think it was more of a sort of hard-hit cross than a shot, and did it deflect in off a Liverpool player from memory. That was a long time ago. Barclays. The whole ground, I think, stunned by that ferocious shot. Fulham a level.
West Ham were comfortable, weren't they? They're going to goal up. They were seeing most of the ball, doing most of the attacking. They must have thought it was all going according to plan, but that's football for you. That's the beauty of it. A strike out of nothing. All of a sudden they're back on level terms.
Di Michele's goal ruled out, and his attack then ruled out by an offside flag.
That's a rare away goal, isn't it? 3 now for the season, and they had 2 before today. I said they had a bit of a mountain to climb given their record on the road in terms of scoring. They've got plenty of points through draws.
Noble. Here's Neil. Parker. And now Collins. Hobson. Onto Ilunga. Played every game since he joined West Ham earlier this season. Di Michele. A lot of space out on that right-hand side, and he's found Neil galloping into it. His cross. Might have been a little push there, I noticed, from Noble, and I think the referee saw it as well.
It's not the first time Pencil's had to try and deal with a cross coming in from the right-hand side. Tries to nudge him out the way, Noble.
Yet another of those who grew up in this area, came through West Ham's academy, Mark Noble. Sort of light-hearted boos for Konchesky. Ilunga. Collins decides to go back rather than forwards. Murphy winning the header against Cole. Now it's Parker for West Ham. Held off Murphy. Again, Neil is in acres of space on that right-hand side. Angelan spotted the danger and dealt with it.
Well, with Simon Davies just pushing inside a little bit, playing narrow on that left, it's given that space to Lucas Neil. He's certainly using it at the moment to get straight at Paul Konchesky.
Something Roy Hodgson might need to have a look at. Collins. Berami. Foul by Murphy. On his way. And Cole makes a move towards it. It's Angelan who got it away. Ooh, the shot by Neil is deflected straight into the path of Di Michele, who absolutely hammered it back across, and Berami was about to pull the trigger when he was challenged.
It was Danny Murphy, wasn't it? It was actually Danny Murphy who got in the way of this shot, and as a result it just rebounds across the park, across the 18-yard area. But he puts in a great challenge there, the midfielder. And as Berami's about to pull the trigger, how vital might that have been?
Terrific defending by the Fulham skipper. Collins and Upson, both evident melee of players. Upson climbed high, it was Neil who headed it goalwards. Cleared by Etuhu. Ilunga. Plenty of targets in there for him. Collins comes for it. Schwarzer got a punch on it. Back in again by Noble, but too high.
There's a real ruck of bodies to come through there for Mark Schwarzer, and wasn't a bad punch, but didn't get the distance, that's for certain. Unlucky for him, it goes straight to Noble. Can't quite control the chip back.
Zamora wants to get involved. Hasn't seen much of the ball yet. Dempsey ahead of him. We've seen even less of Andrew Johnson as yet. I can only remember mentioning his name once or twice. Good run by Collison. They have, of course, a great history here of producing classy midfield players, and he's another one in that tradition.
Well, with the departure of Matthew Etherington, that's one less player to compete with Collison for a spot on the left there.
Ilunga. Parker has overcooked it. Well, don't forget, this is the first part of a Barclays Premier League double-header for you. A really important game, that. Tottenham Hotspur against Portsmouth. Our coverage live from White Hart Lane begins at 3:30 on Sky Sports 1 and High Definition. The England manager taking a look at what's on view today. Zamora, Dempsey. Now Murphy. Sorry, not Murphy, Johnson, the player I said, had hardly seen the ball. Hansel. Blocked by Connaughton. Hughes. High towards Zamora. Got a touch on that. Play by Lucas Neal. Then Barami. Back in by Hangala. Here's Murphy. Cole has gone down injured on the halfway line for West Ham. I don't think Dempsey realised that, in fairness to him. Play has gone on, and that's why the crowd are booing. Now the referee has stopped play.
Yeah, it's a difficult one, isn't it? I mean, Fulham haven't had too much possession, and they're in a really good position there. And if it's a serious injury, of course you put it out. I don't know how seriously hurt Carlton Cole is. If you just catch the boot, Hangeland's boot on the follow-through. They started slowly, didn't they, Fulham? They haven't had a game for 2 weeks. That might have had something to do with it. Last week the game got called off with a frozen pitch. They're beginning to find the feet a little bit more now.
On the same points as West Ham at kick-off, but they do have a couple of games in hand.
Don't want to lose him, will they, with the Bellamy situation? He's led the line really well lately, and as I say, been in amongst the goals. The perfect start for West Ham, courtesy of this John Pansel error, misjudgment, trying to cushion it back with his chest. But what a reaction from Fulham. A team that's only scored 2 goals on the road so far. What a way to get your third.
I think his DVD player will be worn out replaying that one over and over again.
I think he's still talking about it, isn't he? Telling Lucas Neal all about the strike.
Well, he scored some great goals in his career, isn't he? But even he will have grudgingly admired that strike.
Looks in a little bit of discomfort. Whether he's just twisted that knee, it certainly doesn't seem merely an impact injury. Maybe he's just tweaked the ligaments.
Diego Tristan is on the bench, possible replacement if he has to stay off. He's back on for the moment anyway, but still limping Cole, who's West Ham's leading scorer on 8 goals. Hughes. Away by Upson to Ilunga. Parker. Collins. Neal. Here's Connaughton. And again. Cleared by Hughes this time. To the former Sunderland man. Strong challenge by him, and then by Dempsey. Foul.
Just having a look at Carlton Cole, whether he's been able to shake that injury off. So important to their attacking shape.
An important man in these set pieces as well. Collins was the target for this one, and Cole maybe then a little slow to react, possibly because of the knock.
Yeah, it didn't look like he could spring off the mark there.
Etuhu. Oh, that was short. Murphy did well. In behind and too far ahead of Andrew Johnson.
Oh, still got very little service up to those front lads, Fulham.
Johnson sent off when the teams met at Craven Cottage in September, the first and as yet only red card of his career. McKaylee played it straight to Dempsey. Ansel again with a rather nervous ball there to Hughes. Zamora, oh that was brilliant the way he turned Upson, and it's come to Johnson. Etuhu was well placed, he looked for him. Back in by Dempsey, two who's still there. Davis on the back post. Zamora miskicked. And the referee is given a free kick.
Yeah, he's saying that Mark Noble got a little bit of piece of Zamora as he came onto the ball.
Is that why he miskicked then, do you think?
I think possibly it was, yeah. Certainly got a good view of it, and there you can see he knows what he's doing, Noble. Make sure the tackle was outside the area.
Well, I would imagine Mr. Konchesky might fancy this. He's already hit one memorable shot with his left foot. And Green, who's 29 today, and it flying past him, an unstoppable effort.
Jimmy Bullard maybe would take these normally, but Danny Murphy isn't averse to finding the back of the net from these distances, but he must be full of confidence.
We want to be in the wall at the moment, either way. It's Konchesky. It's nowhere near as impressive as the goal, though. Back in by Pansel. Green coming for that. And a good, strong fist on it as well. Johnson just caught the West Ham player there, Neil. The referee's brought them back for the free kick, hence the groans of disapproval from the home fans.
There's an opportunity wasted for Fulham. That was a poor effort from Konchesky. Wouldn't be surprised to see Danny Murphy pull rank next time.
Yeah, you'll say, that's it, you've had your moment of glory, leave them to me.
Lightning doesn't strike twice.
Cole. Parker. Barami, Noble, now Neil. Really disciplined shape, Fulham keep. It's easy to see why their defensive record is so impressive. Collison. A bit fortunate to get the throw. Upson. Parker turns away from trouble. Berami. Neil playing almost like a right midfield player rather than a right back at the moment. Berami ignores him. Upson. Ilunga. Got to stay patient, and they're doing so. Berami. Collins. Now Collison.
It's pass, isn't it? It's going to be difficult, as you say, as disciplined as Fulham are, to find a way through there. They haven't got, of course, is somebody to threaten him behind without Craig Bellamy. Somebody's going to run away from defenders. Cayley likes it into feet, and so does Carlton Cole, who likes to play with his back to goal.
Fulham had only conceded 6 goals in their 9 away games before today. Neil, again, look at all that green grass in front of him. Ball for Di Michele, who's onside here. Well, in the middle, Noble is screaming at him.
Well, he just got a bit overexcited there, didn't he? He didn't look, I don't think. The ball's bouncing up invitingly. Just managing to stay onside. They don't get the line quite right, Fulham. Again, it's Lucas Neal providing the pass, but he's never going to score from there. Doesn't even bother looking, you can see. Mark Noble's in a great position in the middle of the goal.
Flicked on by Zamora. Ilunga. Well played. Ball kick by Green. Came off Zamora, I think. Collins covering. Cole seems to have recovered from his earlier injury, and that's a Fulham throw. Fulham currently on their longest ever unbeaten run as a Premier League club. Their last defeat was over 2 months ago now, 1-0 at Everton. Here's Murphy. On to Konchesky. Davis. Took a risk there, Konchesky, but a strong challenge, so it was from Murphy and then from Panson. Noble. Neil. Back to Collins. Angeland's header, not where he intended it to drop, straight at the feet of Collison. Who stayed strong, and the referee has seen that as a Fulham free kick.
Well, that could have easily gone Scott Parker's way, the way that the two came into the challenge here. 6 of 1, wasn't it, really?
Seemed harsh against West Ham. Aaron Hughes will take it. Tamora's header, away by Neil. Berami. Whoops, off the outside of the boot for Hangeland. But what a good season he's had, the giant defender. Signed from the Danish league, played of course for Roy Hodgson in the Norwegian national team. He was captain, in fact. Parker. Collins. Oh, he's taken a risk there. It looked impressive. It could have been embarrassing. Good pressure this from Fulham. Collison. Good move from West Ham so far. Noble. It's a second opportunity though. Neil. Forward to Berami. Pulled it back beautifully for Cole, who seemed surprised. And that's what's called making sure by Konchesky.
It was patient play, wasn't it? From West Ham, they kept the ball. And again, getting in down that right-hand channel in the matter of picking out the ball. But Berami couldn't quite do it.
Upson has gone to the far post. He's pulled back, surprisingly, to Parker. Cleared by Dempsey. Just as well, Parker got enough on that. Straight back in by Green. And straight out of play.
Now that middle ground, there's been a lot of fierce tackling and work rate in there, not much time to dwell on the ball at all.
2 minutes of the half remaining, Alan. A draw about right so far?
Well, I'll tell you what, I mean, I think Fulham are well pleased because they haven't really played yet in terms of passing the ball about in the way that they can. Just a wonder strike from that man has got them back on level terms. West Ham have been really in charge of the game for large parts, taking the game to Fulham, as you do at home. Good to stay disciplined though, the away side, and they get to half-time, they'll be well pleased, I think, with that scoreline.
Here's Ilunga. Upson. Launch towards Cole. Way by Hangeland. He hasn't missed a single header yet. Starts from a pretty good position though, doesn't he? He's about 6'5", and he earns a free kick here. And for all West Ham's possession, what might concern Gianfranco Zola is that Schwarzer hasn't been that busy in the Fulham goal. Zamora battling away there with Upson. Dempsey, the two, that was a handball, I think, by the American international. Ilunga. Parker. Noble. Bottom of the ground for Cole, a lovely little touch to Parker, and a terrific tackle by Hangalan. Noble, Ilunga. Done well here. Oh, that was a rash challenge by Pansil, who's had a half to forget, and it's going to be capped off now with a yellow card.
Well, I think he thought, if I'm not going to get the ball, I've got to get the man, because Ilunga had done him really on the outside. Pansil. It has been a half to forget for the right back.
Leaving the referee with no option.
Yeah, he took one for the team really, because if Ilunga had got to the byline, it was a really dangerous position. Could have got the cut back right just before half-time. He determined he wasn't going to get past him, Pansil. It's done there. He's always struggling to get a foot on that ball.
And now Fulham have to face a free kick in first half stoppage time. Noble will take it. There's going to be a lot of jostling for position. Oh, he played it along the ground rather than whipping it in, which I think most were expecting. Di Michele into the side netting.
I've got a feeling that rehearsed set piece didn't quite come off as it should have. I would imagine it was designed to give Di Michele a first-time shot.
His goal in the 7th minute, of course, giving West Ham the lead. Konchesky's blockbuster bringing Fulham level. Zamora in a battle again with Upson. It's broken to Cole. Doesn't look quite right since that knock earlier, does he? Irami stood strong, and you've got to against Konchesky. Collins. Oh, will pursue that one with Hangalan. That's more like it. He can sit up quickly enough for Neil to cross. Is Ilunga. Seconds remaining here. Collison. Pansil stops the cross. And then his boot looked dangerously high. But that's it. The end of the first half at Upton Park, and they are level. A dream start for West Ham. David Di Michele scored. And stars of West Ham and Fulham will get the second half underway on level terms, and indeed level on points in the league table. Fulham 1 place higher than West Ham on goal difference. Free fill down, ready to get the second half underway. Just 1 yellow card he showed in the first half, and that was fully deserved, I'm afraid, for John Pansil. There have, remember, been 6 red cards in the last 9 league meetings between these London rivals. So West Ham will get us underway again. Neil, who found a lot of space ahead of him in that first half. I wonder if it'll be the same in the second. Konchesky with the clearance. Berami with the throw. It looked to me as though Di Michele might have pulled Konchesky back there. The linesman was perfectly placed and gave nothing.
Well, it's always risky when you're trying to shepherd the ball out and you're under pressure. Di Michele nipping round the side and wondering if Carl might come back out, but he is there. He's obviously shaken off that injury that he picked up in the first half. And James Collins up here for the long throw.
Neil looks for him, edge of the 6-yard box. Cole is in there as well. Pansil got it away.
Good old throw that, wasn't it, from Lucas Neal? Right into the middle of the box.
Allison being dispossessed, but the whistle's gone. I think the ball must have got out of play. It obviously did. Pansil. Was that a handball by Johnson? It was.
Difficult for those Fulham strikers. Seen very little of the ball. And you suspect there is more to come from Fulham. They can certainly play better going forward.
Neil's header into the box, cleared by Pansil, not that convincingly. And now Murphy has given it away. Noble, Ilunga. Here's Collison, who enlivened the first half with one or two lovely moments of skill. Parker. Forward by Upson. Just getting back to what the boys were saying in the studio, Alan, it is surprisingly subdued here today.
It is a bit of a mystery. I mean, they haven't had a great record at home, have they? I think they've lost 5 of the last 7 games here, but having got that early goal, you'd have thought then all of a sudden the atmosphere, the crowd would have lifted. It didn't really pan out that way. It helps Fulham, of course.
Surprisingly, West Ham have won less than half of their home games over the last 2 seasons. And this always used to be a ground where visiting teams came with a little bit of apprehension, if not exactly fear.
Yeah, I'll vouch for that. I know this main stand now is further away from the pitch, but I used to get some fearful stick over that far side, particularly. Chicken run.
Here's Dempsey, back to Murphy. And it's broken kindly here for Parker. Atuhu trying to keep pace with him, and he did so. Cole. Disappointment for Noble. Davis, just tried to get that one right for Johnson. Dempsey. Now Johnson. Wonders had a very solid game at left back. Good football by the home side. Neil. Oh, holding off it to who stabbed back in to win it, but he's played it straight to Mark Noble here. Ilunga. Noble. Decent effort at the end of a good move.
Yeah, pretty much the way West Ham were playing in the first half. You just wonder whether it might favour them if they get the ball forward a little quicker, rather than relying on this passing game, the patient left and right, trying to stretch. Fulham get them out of position, but they are proving quite stubborn at the moment. The visitors, they've got something to hold on to now.
Eva Kelly's offside. One count.
Great finish. I think Mark Schwarzer might have known. It's a good call from the linesman.
Angelan. Pansel. Long for Bobby Zamora. Upson's won that battle so far, but Fulham keep possession. Just about. However, that's West Ham's throw. Fulham's 10th away game this, and they're yet to win on the road. Stoke City, the only other team in the Premier League without 3 points on their travels. And they were so close to it yesterday. Berami. Collins. Long for Cole. Oh, that was brave by Angeland. And he's got a boot in the face.
That's a good old battle, that one, between the centre-half and centre-forward. The boot was high, although Angeland was stooping a touch. When he stoops, the ball can still be 6 foot off the floor. He's a big lad.
Well, I'm not suggesting he's not a handsome boy, but you don't see many good-looking centre-backs, do you? It's tough out there. A lovely bit of skill from Neil, who was fouled as well by Davis. Now, will that be a yellow card?
Well, he took it quick, didn't he, Lucas Neil? No, Simon Davies didn't sprint away from the ball, but he was going in that direction. It's not as if he was standing over it. So Lucas Neil takes it very quickly, and he is jogging away.
Harsh interpretation, really. Yellow card for Davis, whose free kick gave Fulham the lead in the corresponding fixture here last season, but they went on to lose that game 2-1. Oh, the Hangland's head for once. That's not happened much today, if at all. Ilunga. Cross finds Cole. He's in there again, Hangland. I tell you what, you've got to be prepared to get hurt in that position, and he is. Dempsey. Free kick, and it all stemmed from another excellent clearance by Hangland.
2 yellow cards now being produced. A good little break it was from Clint Dempsey.
Getting close to a possible suspension now, the Swiss international. The referee wants it retaken.
Well, I'd be grateful of that. Fulham. But Green had claimed it. I think there might have been a couple of lads offside. Second chance.
Well, he's in the thick of it everywhere, at either end of the field, Hangland. That one was far too easy again for Green. He launches it immediately. Konchesky keeping his eyes on the ball. Hughes. Back to you, he says. Imakele closing the keeper down. He's only feeding off scraps at the moment, Andrew Johnson.
Well, both teams have been willing to play out from the back, haven't they? Take the ball off the keeper, taking a few chances.
Cleared by Barami, straight to the feet of Murphy. Look at the space here for Pansel. Took a little nick, so it's a corner.
Well, the delivery from corners, free kicks, hasn't been great so far. To try and keep it away from the keeper when you've got somebody as tall as Hangland, he's not going to out-jump Robert Green. Wouldn't have thought, anyway. Just hang one up away from the keeper, you're in business.
Konchesky right in front of the Fulham fans. He got up well, and was that a foul by a Tuhu? Well, the West Ham fans thought so, and I have some sympathy with their view. Davis. Driven back in towards Zamora, who took that down well, but did not finish too impressively.
First part was brilliant in holding off this man, using the strength there, and then secondly with a little deft chest control. Asking an awful lot to score from there. Well, if he'd have just kept this one down and tried to make the keeper work across the goal, you're in with half a chance.
England puts his head in where it hurts again. Many people have been raving about him. Danny Murphy. Johnson nips in. Zamora, Hansel. Murphy's there again. Didn't really look where he was playing it. Berami. Parker. Here's Cole. Neil takes over. Disappointing.
You do get the feeling this match is there for the taking for one of these teams. Whoever can take the initiative, find a little bit of spark, creativity. Fulham coming into it a little bit more now, looking more confident on the ball.
Dempsey. And back by Noble, and then skillfully retained by Collison. Parker. Murphy's challenge. Davis. Murphy's had a good game today, feeding it to Konchesky. Fulham fans ordering him to shoot. Davis. That's labouring a little to get onto that one. Danny Murphy. Forward by Hughes, into the gap for Johnson. Hobson's with it. Who exactly did that come off? Well, it's a Fulham throw. Hansel. Davis trying to hit it first time. Neil blocks. And they're doing likewise against Johnson.
Well, they have looked more of a threat this second half, haven't they? Fulham. We need to see a lot more of the ball now.
Hansel. Took a deflection. Parker with an easy clearance. Now Di Michele. Only Cole forward here for West Ham. And Hangland was right up with him, but Konchesky caught napping. Cole brought down, penalty. Konchesky the hero in the first half, the villain in the second.
Well, I'm not quite sure what Paul Konchesky had in mind there with the balls bouncing in front of him. He was caught in two minds, safe to say. I thought the chance had gone here, but Carlton Cole held it, waited. I think he's waiting for the challenge more than anything else, knowing that Konchesky cannot get this ball. He gets his body in the way. He draws out the penalty, Carlton Cole. It's a stick-on one. Here we're in the first half, Villa now.
And West Ham get their first penalty in the Premier League for over a year. The last one proved to be the winner against Liverpool. Noble will take it. He scored the only other penalty they've been awarded this season in the FA Cup tie against Barnsley. I don't know whether he's a slow writer, Mr. Dow, but he does take a long time to execute these yellow cards, doesn't he?
It's hard to spell, Konchesky.
Before today, West Ham were the only team in the Premier League to be awarded a penalty kick. Now they've got one. Can the local-born 21-year-old Noble convert it up against the massive shape of Schwarzer? And scored with style and confidence. West Ham back in the lead.
Well, he's only 21 and there's plenty of players out there who could have taken the ball and said no. Plenty more experienced players, but Noble grabs it. He wants to finish it. And it is an emphatic one. Makes his mind up, I think. He wasn't going to change. Can they keep on to this lead now?
Just short of the hour mark. West Ham lead Fulham by 2-1 now.
That's funny, isn't it, from Fulham's point of view, having been so solid on the travels, got those 4 0-0s on the trot. Sorry, that was the word I was looking for. And then they've had 2 mistakes that have led to goals. First from Pansel, then Konchesky.
He's asking a lot of the team who remember before today had only scored 2 goals in their away games, as Cole quite clearly pushed Schwarzer virtually out of the box. I'm surprised a free kick wasn't given. Zamora. Well, another one not really shining on his return to Upton Park.
Well, they've just got to try and work the keeper, haven't they? I mean, Robert Green, can't remember really a save of note that he's had. Couldn't get near the Konchesky one. Haven't been able to get the strikers in the game as much as they would have liked. It's been better this second half, but again they find themselves trying to come back from a goal down.
Cole did well then. Noble. Well, he's come to life now. Great run. Away again by the impressive Hangland. Parker. Here's a 2 for Fulham. To Johnson. Only Zamora ahead of him, and he's had to go wide to keep possession. Dempsey looks for Zamora. Neil with him. And he was getting pulled back there, wasn't he? The West Ham captain, he was.
Well, that goal has lifted the crowd. We'll wait and see if it stays nice and noisy. Another test for him. As I said, 2 mistakes, 2 goals. Not like his team this season.
Oh, what a day of mixed fortunes for Konchesky. Hughes got a bit stretched there by Cole, who hammers one! Terrific effort.
Well, that would have been 2 wonder strikes in one match if this would have gone in. Beautifully struck from the centre forward, a yard or so wide. Half the crowd thought it was in.
Ilunga. It's West Ham's throw. Collins. Too ambitious this time. Huge throw from Pansel, flicked on by Zamora to Johnson. It's not been his day so far. He's the kind of player, we've seen him perform like this before. You can think he's looking anonymous in a game and then suddenly he'll strike. Neil. Hobson. Ilunga. Just too high, or rather too hard for Collison. Konchesky. Davis. Bobby Zamora. Rami just saw it out. Zola's on the touchline, just tweaking the system. Not quite sure what it is. He's indicating to his players, but he's asked for a little bit of a change.
Well, his team have been fairly comfortable, really, all match, haven't they, defensively? They certainly look that way at the moment. A little word with Mark Noble.
Fourth official getting a bit busy there. Cole. Johnson nips in to win it back for Fulham. Davis. Rami doing well. Noble. Cole the target in the centre. His header down for Collison. Came back off Hughes. A lovely bit of skill, but in the end he has turned into trouble.
Well, this is the period when West Ham are on top, and I'll be really hoping they can get that 3rd goal, which would probably seal their win. And all the pushing now.
Collins driving on out to Noble. Konchesky saw it. Yellow carded, of course, for the challenge which gave away the penalty. West Ham fans were hoping to see a red card for their former player.
I'm going to say on another day, maybe with another ref, it would have been. I mean, denied a goal-scoring opportunity. Don't see many doubts about that.
Neil. Michaeli. Oh! For a second there, it looked as though Hughes was going to head it wide of his own keeper.
I think Hughes thought that way as well. A fraction of a second.
Michaeli. That's a useful ball as well for Scott Parker. He's got Cole up with him. Has to hold it up. Oh, dear me. Not one of Michaeli's better efforts, that.
I think he might have just changed his mind last minute, you know.
You know you're in trouble when your shot goes out for a throw-in. Murphy. England. Hansen. Here's Ekuhu. Still plenty of time for Fulham to rescue something here and maintain their terrific unbeaten run. Davis. Looking for Johnson. Between two defenders. Murphy did well to win the header, but it's Berami who'll break for West Ham. Pursued by Zamora. Konchesky now. Dempsey. Dempsey and Davis have switched wings. Here's Davis. Davis. What he was thinking of then. Parker. Collison. And here's Ilunga, who's had a really good game at left back. Proved to be a good signing.
Well, they are so comfortable, West Ham, at the moment. If Fulham are to get back into this game, I think it might have to be another wonder strike, something special from outside the area, because they're not getting into West Ham's box at all just now.
There's Berami. Parker. Good ball for Di Michele, who lost it. Dempsey. Johnson. Here's Murphy. Konchesky.
Well, after scoring that wonder goal, he makes a mistake that puts his side behind. He had every opportunity to clear it there, and he knows Carlton Cole's closing in on him. I mean, I think that is a goal-scoring opportunity. I know the fourth official thinks that he's been pushed wide, and that's why the ref didn't give a red. Not that I want to see Konchesky sent off. It was a penalty, and Cole had a chance to steal one goalwards.
Here's Cole again. Wow. Has been sent forward. Option's already there. And with Cole, that's three physically commanding figures in order to try and pick out here. He's coming in from the left-hand side. Michele volleys one back. The ground to Davis.
Well, they're going to make a change, Fulham, and no surprise there, because they haven't been able to respond since going 2-1 down.
Eric Nevland, who's made about a dozen appearances this season, most of them as a substitute, ready to come on here. Davis, meanwhile. Konchesky, Murphy. Parker nips in. Cole to Di Michele. Cole continues his run. Di Michele had to check though. No ball. Keeping on left. They worked the position cleverly. Ilunga. Upson. That's his challenge, enough to regain possession. For Fulham, Danny Murphy takes it on and finds Zamora. Oh dear.
Well, he knew he didn't have the pace to keep going and get closer to goal. He knew he would have been closed down. Precious chance to have a hit on goal.
And not the way he would have wanted to sign off.
Well, it's not been his day, has it? I mean, he's struggling in front of goal anyway, hasn't scored in 15 Premier League games. Bobby Zamora.
on in his place, the Norwegian international who joined Manchester United many years ago as a teenager. Made about half a dozen appearances for Sir Alex's team in those days before going back to Scandinavia. Where, of course, Roy Hodgson got to know him from his time in that part of Europe. Cleared by Hughes. Dempsey finds Ituhu. Now Konchesky. Murphy linking things together. Hansel. Oh, it's a corner. Lunga was trying to see it out, and that did not prove to be the case.
Another example, you just try and let the ball run out, and there's always a chance that forward will get his foot and create something. Just comes off him at the end there, you see. Linesman right on top of it.
And going for that one, and higher than him was Ituhu. Brave goalkeeping by Green. Whistle's gone. Free kick to West Ham, but they won't be allowed to take it from there or that quickly.
I think the ref's given him the benefit of the doubt there. He's come through a huge crowd of players to try and claim it, and he doesn't claim it first time. I don't think that's when the foul's given, or maybe just the arm on the shoulder. Certainly wasn't that. He's not going to be able to come through there without a bit of physical contact. The two who had the arm on the shoulder there. That wasn't a foul.
You need some courage to be a keeper in those situations, don't you? Another change on the way for Fulham. Zoltan Gera, the Hungarian international who's missed the last 3 games with a calf problem, coming on here to replace Simon Davis. Talented, technically excellent midfield player with a goal in him as well.
Yeah, he's going to play on the right-hand side. Clint Dempsey coming across to the left here where Davis was. They need something. They're lacking a spark at the moment, Fulham.
Johnson battling away here, but then committing a foul on Berami. Pursuing it, Handran is there, and a little bit of confusion between him and Schwarzer.
That was a difficult one for Handran because it was bouncing up to his head, so he couldn't hook it around as he would have liked to. He had to use his head knowing he was under pressure, just trying to knock it back to Schwarzer, who made life difficult for the defender by rushing out.
It up for Collins, making a run. Good goalkeeping by Schwarzer again. Now a lot of space ahead of Pansel here. Gera. Nevlin, the other substitute in the penalty area, joined now by Johnson. Murphy. Hughes. Here's Konchesky. By Collins. The 2 though. And again. West Ham backing off, and the crowd didn't like that, but now they've been more decisive and they could get a goal out of it. Di-Michele to Cole. The team who don't concede have let in 3, and it's surely 3 points for West Ham.
Well, Dixon, the 2 who knows that he was culpable there with a silly little 10-yard pass, a dangerous one, hoping to feed Danny Murphy. But he had so many other options he could have taken. And isn't he made to pay for it? Aren't Fulham made to pay? They work it well, West Ham, they really do. Di-Michele's got the intelligence just to put the right weight on that ball. And Carlton Cole continues his great scoring run with a simple enough finish for him. And as you say, that's most likely game over.
Cole has scored in each of his last 5 games. The first time he's had a run like that in his career, and that follows an 8-match spell without a goal. And Fulham, with that wonderful defensive record before today, have been beaten 3 times already. And still, with stoppage time, a quarter of an hour to go for Roy Hodgson's team.
Yeah, you have to say, really, West Ham have been the only team in it in the second half. They deserve the lead, and a precious 2-goal lead. And what 3 points would do for them here, I know the lads in the studio are saying, they get on to 29 points this would take them, and 8 points above the relegation area. That's quite a big margin, although we've got a long way to go. It's a little bit of breathing space.
I think I heard some of the West Ham fans chanting, "Are you watching Bellamy?" when that third goal went in, which suggests that if he does come back to play for the Hammers, he might not get the kindest of receptions. Somehow or other, I do think he will be on his way in the transfer window. The big question is where.
It's the perfect response by the team, isn't it? And for Zola, a good emphatic win, if that's what it happens to be at the end of this match.
What a good day it has been for West Ham, who had lost 5 home games before today, as many as they lost in the whole of last season, but have never looked in danger of losing this one. After 4 successive goalless draws away from home, find themselves 3-1 down.
It's been a great run, hasn't it, from them? 9 games unbeaten in the top flight, going for a record 10 today. Doesn't look like they're going to get that, barring some kind of miraculous comeback, but no sign of that up until now.
Well, the old club record had stood for 46 years, and it looks as though it's going to stand for a bit longer. England surely blocked off Cole then. Cole has gone to 9 goals for the season now, incidentally, leading scorer here. Guerra for Fulham. Ansel. Who's Error. Started the ball rolling. Here's Johnson. Smashed it straight against Collins. Gets a second opportunity. And maybe a third. No.
I think that's the first time they've done that. Danny Murphy able to feed in a striker ball into feet in the penalty area.
Here's Guerra. Johnson's header. Well, with Fulham pressing on now, anything could happen in the closing stages here.
A rare bit of service there for Andy Johnson.
He hasn't scored in his last 7 league games. Cole on Hangeland. Been a good old battle that has. As West Ham prepared to bring on Julien Faubert, who made his debut against Fulham a year ago and has lost his place in recent weeks. He will take over from Mark Noble, scorer of a crucial penalty that swung the game West Ham's way.
Yeah, he showed a lot of composure, didn't he? It was a big moment for him and his team this afternoon. He passed the test.
Faubert had been a regular till losing his place in recent weeks. The French international can play at right back or right midfield. He'll go in the latter position. Hangeland for Fulham. Take him long to get his first touch either. Hangeland's header. Guerra. Got to be careful he doesn't lose out here, and he has lost out to Benrahma. Ilunga. We'll tell you he meant that. Neil. Faubert. Giving it to Cole, whose confidence is so high that he can even try an audacious effort like that.
Well, it's great to see a centre-forward in this kind of form. He's had a bit of stick off the West Ham fans this season at times, but he's answered that criticism. 5 goals in his last 5 games, and that's not to be sniffed at this level.
Over doing well. Di Michele. And for all the speculation about West Ham's players leaving, Etherington's gone to Stoke. Boya on loan to Birmingham. No one else has gone out of the door as yet. There's a longer crosses here, too deep. But don't forget, straight after this game, we're back to White Hart Lane to join the boys to look ahead to the big one, kicking off at 4, Tottenham Hotspur against Portsmouth on Sky Sports 1 and high definition. Aidan Mullins coming on for the Hammers. And a well-deserved round of applause for a young man I think we're going to be seeing a lot of in the future, 20-year-old Jack Collison.
Well, crowds up and down the land love to see a local boy made good, somebody come through the ranks, and Jack Collison is one of those.
And part of what's quite a strong Welsh contingent here in the East End. There's another Collins. Collins gets his first touch. Parker putting his head in dangerously there against Dempsey.
Well, 3-1 up or not, that's how Scott Parker plays in the middle of the park there for West Ham. He's so important to them, and now there's been that bid from Manchester City. West Ham have rebuffed it, do not want to lose their main midfielder.
Cole going for it here with the goalkeeper, who fumbled. And as happens about 99 times out of 100 in those situations, gets a free kick.
I know, he fumbled the ball, so therefore it must be a foul. What exactly did Carlton Cole do wrong there? Nothing, I'd say.
Fulham are making yet another change. Dixon Ituhu being replaced by Leon Andresen, the Danish international, who was sent off when he played against West Ham last season.
Tui competed well in the middle ground alongside Danny Murphy, and he makes that mistake, led to the all-important third. Won't be happy with his part in that.
Ansel. A host of substitutions in the last few minutes. West Ham about to make another one. Doing well. Mullins on to Ilunga. Has it long. Hangeland has not missed too much though in those situations. Andresen. Hansel. Konchesky. So much time to bring that under control. Berami rather less, but he did it impressively. Oh, might have been held then by Hangeland. The referee's allowing play to go on though. Kieran Dyer is the latest substitute, and he is desperate to get on after all his time out of the game. But it won't go out of play. And still it won't. Collins. Konchesky, his wonder strike seems an awful long time ago now. And it looks as though it's going to be of no consequence to Fulham. Andresen looking for Johnson. Now there's a free kick. Now Kieran Dyer will be able to make his re-entrance after almost 18 months out of the Premier League. He did make a comeback in the FA Cup tie against Barnsley recently.
Well, if he doesn't get booked for that, he's a lucky man, I think, Scott Parker. Well, a challenge he didn't really need to make, but it's good to see Kieran Dyer coming on here after being out for so long. We know what a talent he is. He's just been plagued by injuries throughout his career.
His last Premier League match, August 2007. here.
Today's attendance is 31,800.
Crowd of just under 32,000 confirmed inside Upton Park today.
Well, his team haven't been good enough today, and I think he knows it. After this great run of theirs, they've had an off day going forward. Haven't been nearly enough of a threat.
Certainly a good day for him. Ansel. Guerra. Murphy. Ansel's there again. Made it in behind Guerra, who did well to keep possession. One for Johnson.
Miss Jimmy Bullard, midfield in the middle of the park, Fulham. His energy and enthusiasm, he got a good partnership with Danny Murphy. Nicely balanced one. They haven't had many injuries this season at all, have they, Fulham?
Turned there by Dempsey. Bobert under pressure from Netland. Guerra. This victory, or should we officially call it victory in the making, for West Ham United means they will move above Fulham and Hull City into 8th place in the table. When you think for so long they were looking over their shoulders at the bottom 3, that is some turnaround. But then again, with the league so congested at the moment, 5 points separating all the clubs in the bottom half of the table. No one here will be resting on their laurels, least of all him. 2 wins and you're thinking of Europe, 2 defeats and you're worried about relegation. That's the way it is at the moment.
No, one of those seasons where the bulk of the Premier League just cannot relax, can they? I mean, if it stays like this, you'd expect it to open up a little bit as we go towards spring and Easter. But they move up and down so easily in that table.
Ansel back in towards Dempsey, cleared to Faubert. He's quick when he gets going, and he might now. Mullins looking for Dyer, and finding it. Captain Mullins. No heroics needed now. West Ham have just got to see out the remaining time. Kieran Dyer. Kick.
He gives him something different, doesn't he, if they can get him fit and in the team. Somebody that's always willing to take on his man, dribble past. He's got that pace. You'd hope he's still got some left after all those injuries. I'm sure he has.
Horrifically double fracture of the leg, keeping him out for so long as Johnson challenges here, but the referee's whistle has gone. 4 minutes of stoppage time, more than most expected.
They've had a lot of substitutions and they always add someone for that, don't they?
30 seconds each, they reckon. Birthday for Green. He's only let that 1 goal in, and that was as a result of a defender's error. And a happy day all round for the Happy Hammers. Bobert is possessed. Barker retrieves. Neil. It's a clever ball. Oh. Spoils for linesman. But he was offside, I think. Ansel. Guerra. To Netland. Andresen. It's a foul.
Robson and James Collins have been really comfortable this afternoon. Dominated their strikers. Just watch the rest of the team get on with it, particularly in his second half.
Murphy with a free kick. A Fulham goal now would cause a few panics. Murphy strong to win it back. Andresen. Murphy finally cleared. And a chase on here. He's always been quick, Dyer. Surrounded by Fulham defenders. Now the cavalry arrives in the shape of Carlton Cole and Lucas Neal. Mullins. Neal. Parker. Back to Neal. Cole comes near post. Okay, Hughes.
They weren't over eager to get that ball in the box. West Ham content to pass it a few times, but very nearly home and dry now.
Mullins. Back to Faubert. Dyer's shot was blocked. That really would have been a dream ending for West Ham if he found the target. Here's Pansel. Into the final minute. Guerra. Along the ground for Dempsey, who tried to trick Collins, who was having none of it. Murphy. Dempsey. Pansel. Collins meets the cross emphatically. And Andresen hammering it back in. It was Collins there again to block.
Looks like they want to forget, doesn't it? For Fulham, they've had this tremendous run, but a couple of mistakes has cost them very dear. A couple of rare mistakes for them defensively, has to be said, but Roy Hodgson will just move on and try and build another run for his team, I'm sure.
Murphy. And Hangeland. And the final whistle. A very happy day at the office for Gianfranco Zola. West Ham enjoying an emphatic victory here against the Fulham team, who have previously been impregnable on their away games, but not today. 3 goals conceded, and it was comfortable in the end for the Hammers. They've beaten Fulham by 3 goals to 1.
Fulham's first defeat since November the